Wisteria. Energy. Twister.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Wisteria here. Hope you're all doing well. Let's continue with our haunted Yorkshire. We're in Wakefield now. In November 2002, Del Hawler, the former landlord of the boarded up Grove Inn on Thornhill Street in the city centre, warned builders that they might upset the resident ghost when they moved in to convert the old pub into student bedsits. Mr. Hawler and his family claimed to have shared their home with the ghost throughout their tenancy in the 1980s. And Mr. Hawler said, "Our ghost, Fred," why are they all called Fred, guys? "Does not like change. Although he's not a malicious spirit, he'll not be happy when the building work begins, especially after all this time on his own. Soon after we moved in, strange things started to happen to my wife, my children as well, and myself. The range of phenomena included doors locking themselves without the use of the key, the old bell on the bar ringing on its own when there was no one in the area. I think Fred was just trying to make his presence known to us, and he obviously didn't like the changes we were making. In one instance, during a darts and dominoes evening, a buffet had been organised for the players. The empty plates were strewn all over the bar. However, a large clattering sound brought the teams to a standstill, and when everyone turned around, they found that the untidy array of plates had stacked themselves up into a neat pile on the end of the bar. Mr. Hawler's daughter, Nicola, was terrified of sleeping in one particular room. It was terrible trying to get to sleep in there, her father remembers. The dogs would never go in, and it would suddenly go very cold for no reason. A lodger we took on also refused to sleep in there after a few chilling experiences. We weren't really scared when things like this started to happen. In fact, the children even used to talk to Fred. I don't think he's a bad spirit, but he doesn't like it when his territory is threatened. He seemed to settle down after a while, when he got used to us, and we regarded him being somewhat friendly after that. I hope that the new inhabitants learned to live with him in harmony as we all did. Paranormal investigator Steve Jones was among those who advised Wakefield councillors to be cautious about the renovation of the pub premises. In the late 1980s, workmen had told Mr. Jones they had been doing some conversion work in the cellar when all their tools suddenly started flying around on their own. Poltergeists are traditionally thought to feed off energy, he warned. Students especially spark off a lot of sexual energy. It would be like charging up a battery. In February 2003, a distressed woman, Brenda Howard, contacted the Wakefield Express to say she thought that the ghost of the Grove Inn was her late father. He died of a blood clot at the age of 52. Fred Couch had been what was known as the chef maltster at the pub, and he died there in 1960, when Brenda was just a girl. She wonders why the pub had not had to close, and she believes this is where her father's spirit is most happy. I mean, he was happy in life there, so he's probably happy in death, and he should therefore be allowed to remain there in peace, rather than it be destroyed and torn to pieces. She told the newspaper, "I can feel how upset he is getting. He died when I was 12, and his spirit has lived in the pub ever since. We used to live next door, but we had to move when they wanted to expand the pub. My father loved going in there, and people always asked him to sing songs. That's where his heart was. He hates change, and he will hate it when these flats are built." Brenda, her husband, also called Fred, had their 2 grown-up children, all believed that Fred's spirit will live on. Brenda added, "It's never been questioned. My mum Ivy knew it too. We all did. Straight after he died, the landlady of the pub, Stella Hudson, could feel him. So she put up a plaque saying there's always room for Fred at this inn. I'm so scared he's going to be homeless. Where will he go now? He'll be all alone and it really upsets me to think about it. Why can't they just keep it as a pub so he won't be lonely? The plan to convert the Grove Inn to student bedsits may result in Fred causing more disturbances, and more so than what was even caused at the former pub, as he has done so during other renovation projects. But then again, who could blame him? That's the end of that tale, and we move on to the next one now, but still, we're in Wakefield. Mrs. Hazel Wainwright, née Greenwood, was born in 1978 in a house on Brandy Car Road in Kirkhamgate, Wakefield. I've always been psychic and have known when things were going to happen, although you don't realise it as a child. Every morning after my mum and sisters had got up, I would hear someone climbing up and down the stairs, with the letterbox rattling on its own at times. One morning I was so distressed by it that I just screamed until my mum came up to see what was wrong. She hadn't heard a thing. I got so scared prior to moving house that I shared a bed with my elder sister. I thought I was going mad, as no one else ever mentioned hearing it. However, only recently did I learn that my father had also heard the same sounds, but didn't tell me at the time. We were convinced that the house was, and may still be, haunted. Even now when I pass the house, a cold shiver runs down my spine. I don't think I would ever really want to return there. Definitely not. I've had my days there. The end. That completes West Yorkshire. So West Yorkshire is now done, and we do move on to North Yorkshire, or Yorkshire, like I say, people pronounce it differently. But thank you for listening, I do appreciate it. We shall continue next time with North Yorkshire. Many blessings.
Wisteria. Energy. Twister.